Hello and welcome, this is Michael Townsend, and we're here today to talk about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the new Arc System Works 4v4 fighting game coming out on August the 6th. And we are here today to let you know everything you need to know about this upcoming fighting game.
Help's on the way.
Now, out of the gate, 4 characters, 4 versus 4, that certainly sounds intimidating. Maybe that's the kind of crazy you're looking for, but maybe that's just a little bit too much for you. But yes, this is a traditional team-based fighting game, but there is some pretty big differences. Like one, there's only the singular life bar. The entire team shares it, so for your point character, if you're not so inclined to switch and use all 4 of the characters, you frankly don't have to. It might be helpful at points, but you never really have to switch off the initial character you choose, which is great. Also, there's the fact that the entire team is not unlocked at the start. When you begin a match, you only have access to 2 of your 4 characters, and various conditions unlock them throughout the match, like say, putting opponents through the wall. Or if you are already at the end of a stage, splatting them against the wall will also unlock a member of your team, and in fact, they'll join in on the attack. Or conversely, even though it's not very fun, just lose a round. If you lose a round, you will begin the next round with a new member of your team unlocked. And unlocking your team, on top of giving you more options to play as, also gives you your assists. And assists are fantastic for both controlling space and also helping your combos. Many more advanced combos will only be possible if you correctly use your assists in the middle of the combo, just to have them there for the right moment. Basically, more assists equal bigger combos. Simple as that. And it's always nice to have more options. And speaking of options, naturally in this game, like any fighting game, you're going to have all kinds of special moves, super moves. In fact, you're going to have even a special super duper move, your Tokon Assemble attack. So this takes all 150 of your meter, the entire team shows up to beat up the enemy, although the point character gets a signature moment at the end, and can only be done on a round where you might lose the game. So this is basically your comeback mechanic, if anything is. Now, mechanics-wise, one of the really fun things about the game is how unique every character is. Sure, everyone has normal, specials, super moves, as you would expect, but one really cool aspect of the characters is the unique button. And the unique button is, well, unique to every character. So someone like Magneto, well, he does what he does best. He can throw lots of metal on the screen, and he can also use that metal on the screen as a weapon and magnetize you to boot. Extra scary because he has a command grab and he will drag you in against your will if you're magnetized. For someone like Green Goblin, his unique gives him the glider, gives him complete freeform air-based movement, and also a totally new moveset on top of that. In fact, the glider is so integral to his moveset, you can use it in the middle of combos as well. The unique move is just what makes the character work. For someone like Storm, her unique is the weather itself, and she can control how the screen moves with the winds. It affects her movements, and it affects her moves. Like her tornadoes, she can send them out as projectiles if she uses her unique wind to push it out. She has a command grab. As you see, I'm whiffing, but with the wind, I can make the command grab hit from almost half the screen away. The trajectory of everything Storm does can be affected by the wind, making it very, very powerful. The unique button does different things for different characters, like lets Wolverine make use of his adamantium skeleton with super armor and giving him buffs after the fact. Everyone in this game plays very differently from everyone else, and it's thanks in part to the unique button. But besides the unique, there's also a good set of universal rules where everyone can kind of do some of the same things. That means no characters are left out when it comes to options on defense, which I think people will enjoy. So if you hit light and assist at the same time, it actually triggers a bunch of universal mechanics, one of which you just saw right here. And all of these universal mechanics will take 1 bar of your green team gauge, by the way. So say you struggle against projectiles, many people do. If you hit light and assist at the same time, it will actually put you in a state where you have armor while charging forward, so you can just go through a projectile and hit the enemy on the other end. And the more team members you have unlocked, the more effective this attack gets. If done in the air, this becomes a projectile invincible super dash with much the same effect. So if you're worried about projectile spam, every character has these options available to them. It's not character specific. Also, the grounded version is an overhead as well if you just want to help mix up the opponent. If you hit back, light, and assist at the same time, it's a specific dodge, and this catches pretty much everything. So if you are feeling pressured and you know the enemy is going to attack, you simply do this dodge and it will get them off of you. This also works on throws, just don't spam it though, because if it doesn't catch anything, there's a lot of recovery and you will be punished. On block, it is also a get off me mechanic, so this is a lot of different options you get, and again, every character has all of these options available to them, although for the get off me mechanic, there is counterplay FYI. So if you know it's coming, simply hit light and assist as well, and if you do it with perfect timing, you will actually lock out their assists and their green gauge entirely. They'll be disassembled. So very powerful, absolutely, but don't spam it too much, otherwise the opponent might catch on and punish you for it. But defensively, all the characters in this game have fantastic options. Everyone in the roster has a baseline to work with. There's no haves or have-nots. Only difference is some characters sometimes have just a little bit more. Now that said, let's talk about the characters. So in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, we have a wide variety of characters all across Marvel Comics. A lot of them, admittedly, you probably know. Either they're famous from the comics themselves, like the various X-Men, or they're the Avengers, and you might have heard of them. But sometimes we get a little bit weird with it, like characters like Danger. So Danger is getting more well-known thanks to her inclusion in this game, but beforehand she's a relative unknown. Who is Danger? She is the living embodiment of the X-Men's Danger Room. And her storyline in Marvel Tokon might be a little bit sanitized, as Professor X was not very charitable to her in her original run. So yeah, we have a lot of the big names, but also people like Penny Parker. We have the Ghost Rider, and specifically Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, not Danny Ketch, not Johnny Blaze. And we got our boy Blade, and I'm sure lots of people are going to be very happy Blade's finally playable in a fighting game. And why is everyone fighting each other to begin with anyways? Well, that has to do with another relatively obscure character named the Champion. And the Champion exists basically to look for a good fight, and a good fight is what he's going to get out of our favorite Marvel heroes and villains. He gives a planet the right to defend themselves in honorable combat, and if you beat him, well, you beat him. Congratulations. And if you didn't, well, your planet's not going to be around that much longer. There's only one prize for losers, and that's annihilation of the planet. So basically, you're really incentivized to win. And now it's Earth's turn at bat, so they have to form their teams and see how well they can perform against the Champion himself. Also, it gives us explanation for our 4-on-4 format, because at some point the Champion ran into the Fantastic Four, and they just assumed that Earthlings fight in groups of 4. Unfortunately, as of this time though, the Fantastic Four are not playable despite explicitly being mentioned in the story, but maybe one day further down the road. And that is your primer on Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, again coming out on August the 6th. If you're looking for a new fighting game to play, this is probably going to be one of the best bets in town, as it's made by a very proven team in Arc System Works, the team that brought you Guilty Gear Strive and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they have promised many, many years of support for the game, so if your current favorite character is not in the game at the moment, they might be showing up down the line. This has been your primer for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, so thank you for watching, and for everything else in the world of video games, keep it here on IGN.